Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. How y'all feeling today? We in the motherfucking place. As always, I'm not a licensed attorney or tax expert. I do this for educational, informational purposes only. If you find this information valuable, you already know what to do. Leave a donation on the Cash App. The Cash App is TheDonKilam. TheDonKilam. Today we going over widely held fixed investment trusts. Okay, we got D-Royal in the building. We got Tone Get Money in the building. Let me know where y'all tuned in from. Let me know y'all territory. So look, I'm gonna go over Whfits a little bit, but I'm gonna tap back in with like the Ucc-1 Tradeline processes. I mean, this pretty soon, this is gonna be irrelevant, but right now it's still relevant. So it can help you personally and with your business. We got New York City in the building. We got Jasmine Sims in the building. Peace and love. Let me get that engagement. We got some people in the building, so let me know where y'all tuned in from. So Whfits, Whfits, widely held fixed investment trust. I came across this about a year ago. At first, it made a little bit of sense, but I knew I had to keep doing some more studying, some more research. More studying and research. I gotta make sure I seal this one up. I didn't roll this one out too good. Get sealed out. But yeah, Whfits. Peace and love. Y'all funny. I'm just checking in, man. Really, y'all. But let me know where y'all tuned in from anyways. Who knows what a Whfit is? Anybody know what a Whfit is on the IG Live? We're on the IG Live right now. This is being live on the IG Live. And everybody that's watching the replay, this is being recorded from the Instagram Live, Don_Kilam. Does anybody know what a WHFIT? I call them Whfits. WHFIT, a widely held fixed investment trust. Does anybody know what this is? Let me know in the comments. See, and another thing is, it's hard to explain this knowledge through text messages. That's why I don't respond to your questions. Understand that. Is anybody following along? Your feature credit says I don't. It's called a Whfit. Look it up. You can Google this. WHFIT. And I always go to Investtopia.com for my terms. Okay? Investtopia.com. I'll see what the problem is. Bright Diamond says they've heard of it. You know, I'm just messing around. I'm about to get a podcast together with my fellas, man. Y'all see, I got this coming together at night. I got it lit up. You follow me? Y'all like that? Let me know if y'all like that. The Don Talks, Dreams of Better Narrators. You follow me? Let me know if you like that. So look, he said repeat it. Whfit. WHFIT. I put peace and love. We got Brianna Jay in the building. WHFIT, Whfit. And I got great news for you. If you need what I'm going over today, I got it for you. $25 donation on the Cash App. It's gonna break down Whfits, and it's gonna break down the Ucc-1 Tradeline. It's gonna break down the basics of the business trust, and it's gonna break down the actual document. All right, the Whfit document at the end. So what is a widely held fixed instrument trust? A widely held fixed instrument trust is a type of unit investment trust UIT, more letters for you, with at least one interest held by a third party. Investors who purchase shares of the trust receive any regular payments of interest or dividends earned on the equities or bonds held in trust. See, I want y'all to know there's layers upon layers upon layers. And how I discovered exactly what a Whfit was through the court system, because this is what's going on. Is a widely held fixed investment trust due to at the beginning of a stock warrant. You follow me? This is why you need to know really contract law and trust law, and next is securities. You follow me? Learning I call it Series 6 training, Series 7 training. You know, these are the things you need to do. You got trustee training, then you got Series 6 training, then you got Series 7 training. And these are real deal private knowledge. These are private classes. This stuff is real. This is not stuff TheDonKilam is just pulling out the blue. This stuff is real. This is stuff you need to learn. This is not the stuff that they're going to teach you in the public education system. This is stuff they teach in the private schools, and this is the stuff that Jewish kids know by the age of 13. I promise you. So, let me show you what the stock warrant is first, before we go any further. What is a stock warrant? I bring this up a lot too, but people just bypass it. A stock warrant represents the right to purchase a company's stock at a specific price at a specific date. A stock warrant is issued directly by a company to an investor. Stock options are typically traded between investors. A stock warrant represents future capital for a company. Now, we gotta go back to sole proprietorship, because you need to understand, you're out here trading. You're out here trading, whether you realize it or not. And if you're touching these greenbacks, I got a few of them down here, the In God We Trust Federal Reserve notes, you touching these, you are deemed to be an expert with notes and obligations, okay? Because you touch them, you have amount of years of experience circulating this type of currency. So you're considered an expert. So go you. You're an expert. Now, the sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship, also known as a sole tradership, individual entrepreneurship, or proprietorship, is a type of enterprise owned and run by one person in which there's no legal distinction between the owner and the business entity. So with that being said, you are a sole proprietorship regardless. You're out here with the all caps name, utilizing Social Security trust notes and Federal Reserve notes, handing over powers of attorney, saying you understand to some shit you don't understand. You're an expert at all it is. So when you go to court, boom, there's a stock warrant. You say you understand, you're giving over power to the attorney. You're giving over power to the attorney to turn over the power of you. And now, boom, we have a Whfit. We have bonds, we have Whfits now. All right? So when you say you understand, they're creating bonds, they're creating performance bonds, surety bonds. Follow me? Things that's going to make the sole proprietorship compelled to perform. And they're obligated now. The United States was obligated, but now the sole proprietorship is obligated because you switch roles. These are the benefits. It says, understand the widely held fixed investment trust. Widely held fixed investment trust must have at least one third-party interest holder or a middleman. Otherwise, they function the same way as any other unit investment trust offering shares in a fixed portfolio. Understand the middleman in court is always the judge. Because the investor who funds the initial purchase, which would be the secured party creditor, and the assets in the portfolio typically participate as trust interest holders. Widely held fixed instruments trusts fall under the category of a grantor's trust. So this is a grantor's trust. Trust interest holders receive dividends or interest payments derived from the underlying assets in the portfolio based upon the proportion of shares they hold. The presence of middleman in the trust means investors may hold either direct interest in the trust or indirect interest if a middleman, such as a broker, holds the shares in another investor's name. Whfits are classified as pass-through investments for income tax purposes. Pass-through investments for income tax purposes. Grantors invest that pool their money to purchase the assets placed in the trust. Trustee, typically a broker or financial institution that manages the trust's assets. Middleman, usually a broker that holds the unit shares in the trust on behalf of their client or beneficiary. Trust interest holder, this is the investor that owns unit shares in a Whfit, is entitled to income generated by the trust. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission considers unit investment trusts one of three types of investment companies, along with mutual funds and closed-end funds. Like mutual funds, widely held fixed instrument trusts offer investors the opportunity to purchase shares in a diversified portfolio of underlying assets at a lower cost with less handling. The U.S. Internal Revenue Service generally treats widely investment trusts as flow-through entities for tax purposes. Because of this, the trust itself does not pay taxes on its earnings. Instead, individuals who invest in the trust receive a Form 1099 detailing their annual earnings and must pay taxes on those amounts as they would any other earned income. Now, wait, there's more. Widely held mortgage trust. And when you understand the MBSs, the mortgage-backed securities, boom, and it's gonna lead you to a widely held mortgage trust, which is the three major federal mortgage lenders are Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and Ginnie Mae, and they all utilize widely held mortgage trusts. And this is related to the real estate mortgage investment conduit, or the REMIC, which is a special purpose vehicle that is used to pull mortgage loans and issue the MBS, which is the mortgage-backed security. Real estate mortgage investment conduits hold commercial and residential mortgages in trust and issue interest in these mortgages to investors. So this is how they get paid. It's the widely held mortgage trust, or in other terms, the widely held fixed investment trust, or the Whfit. Does that make sense to everybody? I know this isn't for beginners, but I hope everybody's bought it aloud. Now, I went over this in the past couple times. Talk to myself real quick, makes sense. Now, it breaks down, the Whfit books is going to break down the Whfit at first. You know, the information I just went over, you know, that's from Investopia.net, so it's not going to be in my book. But it's going to break down how the Whfit applies to court. Private property, we're using case law, the right of surety to recovery on his risk of losses when standing for the debts of another. Breaking down surety, legal tender, public policy, HJR 192, the 73rd Congress. It breaks down everybody should know Title 12 of the USC codes, okay? Chapter 2 is national banks. Subchapter V, obtaining and issuing and circulating notes. And how it applies to this, and the UCC codes, okay? Let me state some of this. The annual public debt report. Definitions: total public debt. The term total public debt means the total amount of obligations subject to the national debt limit established in section 3101 of this title. Net public debt. The term net public debt means the portion of the total public debt which is held by the public. It is a fact, Section 3101 references guaranteed obligations held by the Secretary of the Treasury, which are expected and exempted from the face amount of obligations whose principals and interests are guaranteed by the United States government. Public debt limit. The face amount of obligations issued under this chapter and the face amount of the obligations whose principal and interests are guaranteed by the United States government. It is a fact, every day the United States Treasury Department receives dozens or hundreds of such instruments making claims of this type. Obviously, some are valid and some are not. It is a fact, there are only 3 official government directives or alerts that address fraudulent, fictitious, or otherwise invalid instruments sent to the U.S. Treasury for payment, and only one that officially states what is to be official U.S. government policy and treatment of them if they are received. This is Alert 99-10, which is also published on the government website for the United States Treasury. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency Enforcement and Compliance Division in Alert to 9910 states, and it's going over site drafts payable through the U.S. Treasury. Then the UCC 3-503, notice of dishonor. Let's get to the, that's stuff dealing with the Whfits, okay? There's a lot to go over. I just touched the basics. And this is the Whfits dealing with the 1099 OID process and the 1099 IIT, the 1099 DIV, and becoming a municipality. All right? Now, everybody should know this. It's not hard. It's simple. Everybody should have this. All right? Right now, let me check it out. I'm publishing it on Amazon right now, so it will be on Amazon. Everybody asks, are your books going to be on Amazon? Publishing right now. The paperback's in review. The Kindle's publishing right now, right? And I took a lot of Kindles down due to y'all was having problems with the formatting. So just get the paperback. That's how we gonna do it. You need the digital copy. Come holler at me. We got Clearly Catted in the building. G Trees in the building. Universal Focus Group in the building. Appreciate y'all. Peace and love. Frequency Bliss in the building. Peace and love. Peace and love. Prolific Kaya in the building. Peace and love. So say you got all the books on Amazon. Now, the purpose of this information is to show you how to add personal loans and leases to your personal credit report. Again, I'm going to say it again. To show you how to add personal loans and leases to your personal credit report. The method you will learn is the same techniques that banks, auto dealers, and property managers use. And we will be utilizing in this process the Uniform Commercial Code to place trade references on your report. Article 9 of the Commercial Code deals with secured transactions. Any loan, lease, rental, or purchase where collateral is used to secure terms. Credit bureaus are connected to a public filing database that updates every 24 to 72 hours. They automatically receive all liens and bankruptcy information after it is filed at the county, state, or federal level. UCC financing statement is a form of public filing. It is filed with your local county registrar's office, such as your county deeds office or recorder deeds office. Credit bureaus check public record as a part of their investigation. Reporting these public records has an effect on the credit rating of your personal credit. By the way, it can be also used for improving business credit. So, before we proceed, please keep in mind, this is a story. My friend's credit will improve after the UC process is complete. A friend of mine came to me and asked if he could borrow some money. He only needed $10,000. I knew he was good for it, so I agreed under one condition. We agreed that I will follow Ucc-1 and we need to show some collateral to secure the loan. UCC is a financing statement that tells the public that the collateral is held between parties for an agreement between the parties. In this case, the agreement is the $10,000 loan, which will be put on paper, of course, and the collateral will be made public knowledge using UCC filings that will be referenced in the agreement. The agreement will also be filed publicly. So the Ucc-1 is the public knowledge. It's just a filing. But we're stating that we're also going to file the agreements as well. My friend agreed to use a four-wheeler, some computer equipment, and an old banged-up car as collateral. He said he would only need a loan for 90 days, so I decided not to charge interest. We agreed that he would pay me $3,333.33 a month for 3 months. A piece of collateral will be released after every payment. We also decided on what order the collateral will be released. First the computer equipment, then the four-wheeler, and finally the car. This is very important. As we finished hashing out the details, we wrote it all on paper, okay, and listed the collateral. Now, when you write out the agreement, that's an agreement, you write on paper. Then the collateral, that's a security agreement. I told him that he could keep possession of the collateral at his home, but I would need the serial numbers off everything. We then went to a local notary to get the promissory note witnessed and signed. I gave him the money and he was on his way. It is now left up to me to fill out a Ucc-1 financing statement for that agreement that we signed. A sample promissory note form of agreement can be purchased from Staples or downloaded from anywhere. But I get mine from this app I use. So, before we file Ucc-1, we must go to the local county's deeds office and register with the county. Some people do, some people don't, okay? Now, when you file an agreement, this creates a file number that can be referenced on the Ucc-1. The aim is to file both the agreement and the Ucc-1 form. Now, any investigating credit bureau will file a UCC filing against the individual corporation for business credit. As they look further into it, they will also find the agreement that the UCC was filed for. In the public records, this was there will complete a picture of what the UCC was about. Remember, the UCC does not have details of the agreement, and hence credit bureaus would want to look further when they find a UCC in the public records. Bureaus want a complete picture of the individual's financial position. After about 2 months of the initial filing, the UCC will be amended, indicating the release in collateral as a corresponding agreement is fulfilled. So in our example, as my friend pays back the loan, each payment will result in a release in collateral. Since there are 3 total payments, there will be 2 amendments, and the third will be a termination of the UCC. So in summary, I filed a UCC, waited about 2 months, and then filed an amendment every month for 2 months after that. Then on the 3rd month, it will be time to terminate the UCC. Since the complete loan is paid off, this is similar to a loan from a bank being paid off. As a result, my friend's credit report will have developed a solid trade line. Does that make sense? So here's a quick summary. 2 or more parties get into an agreement, make it legal by signing and notarizing. And this could be 2 businesses. It can be your businesses. Secured party files a Ucc-1 statement indicating the collateral being secured. The UCC is then amended, showing the collateral being released as the loan is paid off little by little as the agreement is fulfilled little by little. Finally, the UCC is terminated. There is a section for UCC in all credit reports, business and personal. It shows any transactions that were made by way of collateral, security. Collateral means security. By filing Ucc-1 along with a security agreement and promissory note listing the details of the transaction, you create a credit reference on your credit report. When the bureaus pick up all these public filings and finally show that the lien was cleared, your credit will improve. Remember that one thing is clearing the collateral. The party that borrowed the money will have their credit improve. And our story was my friend. And then it goes on to show you how to exactly fill out the forms. You feel me? How to fill out the forms. So right there. And pretty much, that's what I got for you today. I wanted to go over Whfits. I wanted you to know that, hey, you can create your own. You can create your own promissory notes. They're included in this book. Your own promissory notes and your own security agreements. And make them between your business and yourself to improve personal credit. And your businesses to improve business credit. Because they The credit bureaus pull this. This is all public record. And I do have examples of security agreements. I have examples of promissory notes, and I have an example of a business trust, all right? And then I have an example of how to 17 pages utilizing the Whfits process as for debt, to get out of debt, any court concerns. As long as you hurt none, you can do what you will. But it's called the Whfits V9 document. It breaks down basically what's going on. It's an affidavit of public notices, acceptance of oath, beneficiary rights, your declaration inclusive of amended, notice of a non-adverse party, notice of a Whfits, notice of successorship, the matters of interest, the U.S. citizen and surety, the birth certificate, special notice to the Federal Reserve, instruments issued foreign by the U.S., endorsement language for instruments, acceptance for value, a synopsis, endorsement language for instruments and checks, international bills of exchange, and then the conclusion. But this is breaking down the international bills of exchange for sure. That's how it starts off. And then the definitions, then boom, it goes right into the public notice. You really got to get it to understand it and read it at least 8 or 9 times. $25 is yours. I'll send it to you. Just put hashtag Whfits, WHFIT in the memo box in your email address. With that, I'm out, man. Much peace and love. Remember, prosperity is your birthright. Just look in the description box. Peace.